Main objectives for season 2, very similar to season 1, then sharing information and stories and filling this content gap between, what can appear to be fairly technical content about SharePoint intranets and, at one end, and at the other end, fairly easy to find SharePoint bashing content. So we want to find ourselves somewhere in the middle of those two, probably closer to the former than the latter.
Yeah, we're balancing the discussion, bring kind of a different angle, positive angle also like to SharePoint, but also like addressing like the reality, right? So like they talking about the modern page templates and some trends that are there. So that's all part of the context, but addressing that like from a neutral point of view.
Neutralish.
New season, David. We made the second season.
Season 2, we were renewed by the network.
Like, people have been writing the comments, we need a second season. Well, there we go. Season 2, Jarbas Horst, Senior Product Manager for Fresh Intranet with a new t-shirt this time.
There we go, SharePoint Chatbot.
Human edition.
And I am still David Bowman, Product Director for Fresh Intranet. Jarbas, what have you been up to over the summer?
It's quite nice. So I went to Anaheim in California, not for Disneyland. So I was not on vacation. I was actually joining an event. So it was like the Reagan Employee Experience event in Anaheim. And it was at the Disneyland Hotel. So I got to see Mickey and a lot of the Disney characters there.
Were they at the conference?
Unfortunately, not. But yeah, so we had a lot of people coming, to learn, people in telecommunication, HR, marketing. So coming together to learn about, the different topics that they were covering there. We were their sponsors, and we got to have a lot of interesting discussions with the attendees and with other people there as well.
What was the sort of feedback like from these conversations? Because this is internal comms pros there to hear about digital employee experience, intranets, internal comms. What's the reactions that you got at the conference as you're there as a SharePoint intranet vendor?
Exactly. So we are very focused on SharePoint, and we get to ask them things like, are you using SharePoint, and do you like SharePoint? The reaction is things that we have already kind of discussed here. So we get to hear a no, right? Which at this point, I'm not surprised anymore. So I'm kind of used to that type of feedback now.
You're waiting for it.
Yeah, I'm waiting for that. So it's surprising when someone says, I love it. And then you're like, wow,
yes.
Me too. But yeah, so you get to hear those things, right? So SharePoint is boring. SharePoint provides a disconnect experience, especially when you have multiple departments and you want to bring everyone together. So the larger the organization is, the more complicated this gets for people, especially when they are just relying on out of the box features that SharePoint provides. Did I say boring? Yeah, I said boring. And it's it's complicated to find information, right? So the search aspect is always something that people are struggling with. But the good thing is also that people are looking for a way to improve that experience, right? And that's where we can see where we can add value in those discussions.
It's those conversations very rarely about ripping it out and replacing it with something else. It is, how do I go from where I am today to, what I'm seeing on your screen that you're showing me on this on this demo. So I think people are generally engaging with a really positive mindset of, how do we move to a better place?
Yes, definitely. And what about you, David? What have you done?
I've been on holiday. Basically, that isn't what I've been doing for the entire summer, but that's probably the standout memory for me. Not in Anaheim, but somewhere equally glamorous. I've been sitting on the beach. I've been drinking a lot. I've been eating a lot. That is basically all I've been doing.
We should do more of that.
Yeah,
everyone.
Yeah, it was good. Happy time.
I think the sun liked you.
Yes, yeah. It's pretty rare that I get to spend a lot of time just sitting around doing nothing. But we were in a part of the world where the Wi-Fi was terrible. And is on our red list. So I was unable to access our network, even if I wanted to. So it was really nice to have a complete disconnect, sit in the sun. I think first 2 days I looked a lot redder than I do now.
Did you get to, talk about AI, SharePoint in your vacation?
No, I was using ChatGPT a bit, but no, it was complete disconnect from work. I think the closest that I came to work at any point in time on holiday was we were walking off to the buffet one evening, and ahead of us were a couple wearing their backpacks that were checking out or something. And the guy's backpack had the Microsoft logo on the back, so that was as close as I came to work.
It's following you. It's following you.
Or or I was following him. One of those was happening.
That's great. So I hope you have enjoyed your time. So it looks like you had a great time, which is good.
Yes. Let's talk a bit about SharePoint news then, because it's been a while since we've done one of these. What's been changing in the world of SharePoint? There's been a couple of things that have happened that are probably of kind of notable mentions. Let's start with one that appeared and disappeared really quickly. It was a kind of now you see it, now you don't.
Yeah.
Tell us what happened.
It's a magic show, live, like happening at the client's tenants in production. So, we are talking about the modern page template experience, which, SharePoint already has had an option for people like to create pages using page templates. So when you go and click kind of I want to create a new page, a new news post, a dialog opens currently, and it shows you kind of the templates that SharePoint provides out of the box and your organizational templates, right, that are available like for this site. So that experience is what we're talking here, and that changed. So when you clicked on, I want to create a new news post or page, you got redirect like to a new page, a full experience, where by default you saw 50 plus out of the box page templates that Microsoft provides. And those page templates, they basically, I think, reflect the art of the possible with the latest additions that SharePoint has had in SharePoint pages. There is like the flexible layouts, section background, and the kind of those page templates were basically showcasing all of these different options. At the beginning, like at the initial launch of this feature, your page templates were not visible on that experience, which is not ideal like for organizations, right? So you want to use the things that you have created, and you could not hide the out-of-the-box templates from Microsoft. So a lot, like those are some of the issues that people have been talking about, and actually,
there was quite a lot of feedback about this, wasn't there, as this was unfolding?
Exactly. So there is the official marketing announcement on the tech community website for Microsoft, and you'll see, like, in the comment section how many comments they got around that feature, which is quite hard, like for people who are probably building that experience. But they got a lot to hear direct, like from the clients who are using that now. So the result of that was basically that they have rolled out. So they have like removed the feature from SharePoint. So it's not available there currently, and probably coming back at some point.
That is a kind of temporary thing, and there's been no further update on when that feature will be back. I felt nothing but pity for the people at Microsoft that are involved in this. I think it's really easy to kind of take the high road on these kind of things, and the problem is when you're building a product at the scale that they are building at, it is very difficult to keep everybody happy at the same time when you're releasing new features. So I'm sure that they will resolve the situation to everybody's satisfaction, and it'll be a great feature once it's completed.
Yeah, like Microsoft continues the pattern of improving the experience, like the default experience, the pages, now kind of the page templates. Interesting about this feature is also what comes, what the feature might bring. So they already gave a bit of some insights on the future roadmap. So they are talking about having global page templates, so that as an Intranet manager, you're going to be able to manage that at a global level, maybe the brand center, I don't know, and Copilot powered enable templates, so that you could also manage and maybe choose that templates from that experience.
You get a sense this is a kind of first release, first cake slice of a bigger, very useful feature.
Yeah. So, but what else? What else did they introduce?
So the new magic and floating SharePoint AI button. I don't think that's its official name. What is it actually called?
It's the AI quick actions. So that's how
AI
they
quick
call it.
actions for SharePoint. So this is a little floating button that appears on a SharePoint site when you have Copilot licenses, and gives you quick access to any AI-enabled features in the SharePoint site that you're currently in. So, for example, if you click on that button and you're on a SharePoint page, you've got a quick link to be able to do a summary of the current page that you're looking at, or be able to access any agents that are created in that SharePoint site. So this is a kind of brand new thing that turned up in tenants last week. Super useful way of being able to access the AI features.
Yeah, so you need the Copilot license. So if you want to use that, this floating element, another aspect is also like it's a floating element on the bottom of any page, actually, right? So that's actually appearing everywhere in terms of customization, because a lot of people, they customize SharePoint different ways. So there could be some conflict there. And I wonder if Microsoft is also providing a way for hiding that button if people maybe don't want to use it.
I think as we were saying when we were talking about this before, that Valo Intranet, as an example, that used to have its own kind of admin enabled experience, that was a floating button on the bottom right hand side of a page. There's likely to be a conflict there, and as you say, other product vendors doing similar things as well.
Yeah.
And I think the thing that I'm interested in, this is a sort of SharePoint product vendor, is the potential for extensibility options there, of being able to layer in our own AI extensions into that feature, so that as well as SharePoint, third-party product vendors in SharePoint are able to extend that component, and this becomes a central way of being able to access a lot of useful AI functionality.
Yeah, that was like the Valo toolbox that you are referring to. And yeah, so that Valo is now discontinued, so that will not be a problem for existing customers. But yeah, definitely everyone who has done like some sort of customization at that level will experience some sort of conflict. But yeah, as you said, so for people building in SharePoint, we look like for the integration possibilities. It would be nice like if this becomes like the central way of kicking off interactions with AI.
Yes. If you're listening, Microsoft, we would love to extend that further. All right. Other news then. ChatGPT 5 released over the last couple of weeks as well. Have you had a chance to play around with that yet?
I have. So I think you should go more on vacation, David. So many things happen when you're out. So
If
yeah,
only,
I've had the chance.
if only I was the center of the universe and these were all related to me.
Look at that. Maybe it is. So maybe not. Well, ChatGPT 5 is, yeah, so it's a new addition from OpenAI. So they have introduced GPT-5. That's then, of course, available like in ChatGPT, and also available in Microsoft Copilot. So that Microsoft managed like to have a sync release of the capabilities, which is, of course, very great like for the Microsoft clients as well. And we as like Microsoft users, customers can also like take advantage of that great functionality now. So what does GPT-5 bring, David?
I think from a kind of end user experience, that conversationally, this is much more like talking to an adult.
Right.
Kind of knowledgeable third party. Whereas, conversations with previous versions, whilst they've always been improving, obviously, maybe been a bit stilted. It feels much more natural when you're engaging with this thing as an end user. And I have to admit, I probably use this more in ChatGPT than I've used it in Copilot. Have you used it there yet?
Yeah, so not in Copilot that much, but yes, like in ChatGPT as well. But the thing that I like is like everything is so before ChatGPT 5 or GPT 5, you had like the switch between the models. So if you want like to have reasoning, you would choose like an all 3 model. If you just want like a chat experience, you would go with the 4 something version. Now everything is combined in one model. So as an end user, it doesn't really make a difference because you enter your prompt, and then the GPT 5 model will understand based on your prompt how it should behave or should react. And it might like start thinking. You see kind of this shimmered experience at the top of the chat, or it will just straight away go and answer your question. So I think as an end user, that's what we want, right? So you don't want to be technical and start understanding what model I should choose when.
Yeah, it's reduced anything that's going to reduce the amount of thinking that the end user is doing about which model to use. Really good step forwards.
They already have like a very simple user experience, and now they have even removed like the option for choosing the AI model. You just need to chat, basically.
Yeah, you just start. It's going to make decisions for you. One other piece of news that we should mention as well from owners of Fresh, Advania UK completed the integration of the acquisitions that they made in 2024. Serviu and CCS Media joining the Advania business. Hugely impressive, complicated integration of those two businesses in a really short space of time as well, given that the acquisitions were only at the end of 2024. The Advania UK business, the people that own Fresh Intranet, that is an organization in the UK now that is worth more than £450 million in revenue. The group business, Advania Group, worth over £1 billion. 1,500 employees, that is the total size of the UK business, and over 10,000 customers as well. So congrats to the Advania UK team for a successful integration of those acquisitions.
It's a huge achievement and shows like, I think, how strong we are now. So what does that mean like for Fresh in the end?
Yeah, good question and useful context, I guess, for people to understand that Advania UK, clearly a very commercially successful, profitable business, growing with kind of aggressive plans for further growth in the UK as well. So it's great to have Fresh Intranet backed by this hugely impressive commercial organization, and sees Fresh as being a key piece of the commercial offer as well.
Yeah.
So congratulations to the senior leadership team at Advania UK.
Congratulations.
Right, now we've done enough ass kissing for today.
That was the intro.
Oh, that was the intro. Yeah. Because what we were actually supposed to do was talk about season 2, because we've got another 12 or so episodes that we're going to be running in this season. And I guess lessons learned from seasons 1. Jarbas, we enjoy talking to each other. We've ended up recording a lot of our one-to-one meetings and using them as podcast episodes. I guess we've had to accept, though, that not everyone agrees that we're the most interesting people. And the episodes that have had the greatest take-up have really been where we've had these fantastic guests that took time out of their schedules to join and talk to us about their areas. Yes, well, and often much more interesting than either of us as well. So we've done a couple of these already, haven't we? That we've got in the bag that we're going to be releasing.
Exactly. So for the next season, so this one that's starting now, we talked to 2 clients already. So the first one was Abby Webster from TD Bank, and we talked about the topic. So yeah. Now I kind of have this one song in mind because it was about I'm looking for an intranet in finance, because she's like which
was based on the now somewhat dated meme of I'm looking for a man in finance, and being an old man who has teenage kids, I pick up on a lot of memes that are doing the rounds, and this was one that stuck out for me.
Yeah, that was the excuse now. Yeah, so it's not because you are following like these topics. You can be honest.
No, of course.
No.
I would never be involved in anything so frivolous.
Yeah. Because as you said, like at some point you're a grumpy man and you don't this those things. Yeah, but well, it was. I'm looking for an intranet in finance. I need to really pay attention to that. And I wondered if David Gett would reach out to us, and if you get for some reason to be listening to this podcast, we would do something around SharePoint and finance, and who knows. Well, in any case, so that was the topic we covered. We talked about their journey on they were looking like for new internet and all of the process and how they went through that, and then like launched the internet. Were very large.
They're a huge organization, a lot of employees, lots of different roles, lots of frontline workers, hugely complicated IT estate as well. Lots of systems. And, I think what I really like about them as a company is they've got a really great organizational culture, really supportive of people, kind of a people-first intranet, and the team that run the digital employee experience, intranet included, the kind of people first approach there has been really, really nice to hear about.
Yes, that was so more of that on one of the episodes that we kind of in the second season. And we also talked to Alex Pierce from the LA Piper, right, about how to build an intranet.
Yes. And talking about the transition from what was we've got to replace our on-premises SharePoint intranet and move to Microsoft 365. So there was a big kind of technical driver that was running that project initially, and how Alex and the team have kind of progressed that more to being about people, content, narrative, stories, all around employees. So, a really nice transition from intranet is driving a kind of intranet driven by a technical objective and becoming something that's much more part of the organizational fabric.
Yeah, so like people driven as well, like similar to the episode. So also like they are focused on storytelling and how they did that, like giving some examples also. Worth listening. And yeah, we'll be releasing that soon.
And then we've also got some conversations lined up with some Microsoft people that are involved in SharePoint itself. We're going to be talking to some implementation consultants about what people need to do to get ready for intranet success, and any other interesting influencers, and a number of those that that we're getting conversations lined up with.
Yes, so a lot of great discussions coming up.
Main objectives for season 2 very similar to season 1. Then sharing information and stories, and filling this content gap between what can appear to be fairly technical content about SharePoint intranets, and at one end, and at the other end, fairly easy to find SharePoint bashing content. So we want to find ourselves somewhere in the middle of those two, probably closer to the former than the latter.
Yeah, we're balancing the discussion, bring kind of a different angle, a positive angle also like to SharePoint, but also like addressing addressing like the reality, right? So like they talking about the modern page templates and some trends that are there. So that's all part of the context, but addressing that like from a neutral point of view.
Neutralish. All right, closing this episode off then, Jarbas. We're going to try and get a couple of questions in to our guests on these episodes as well. What are you currently most excited about?
It's a good question. So we have a series of events coming. I'm covering more like those happening here in Europe. So we have a Collab Days event happening in Helsinki in a few weeks, and I'm looking forward to going there. We are going to meet our Advania Finland partner, who is part of our Advania group. So it's they have been very great partners. I've been working so many projects with them, and I'm looking forward, like to meet them, having conversations, talking about ongoing projects, and of course at the conference then meeting former colleagues. So I used to work for Valo, who is kind of from Helsinki. So meeting my former colleagues there and like the people from the Microsoft community, and then a few other events that we also have lined up. So that's what I'm looking for. And what's about you, David?
Yeah, similar theme. We've got a number of events coming up in the US on the East Coast and West Coast throughout the end of this year, towards the end of kind of conference season. And, looking forward to trying some new things out there based on lessons we've learned and conversations we've had this year. So, yeah, just looking forward to progressing some of those initiatives.
Yes, it's going there, getting challenged when we are talking like to people in telecommunication, and the topic is sometimes SharePoint, as we mentioned at the beginning. But yeah, bring like those learnings back and improving our narrative and also our solution, right? So that's where those events also help us. And one of the questions that we have also been asking the guests what is your favorite app?
Favorite app. So both of which on my mobile phone. The first of which being ChatGPT. This is just more and more I'm using this in my daily life. I was using it a lot on holiday for identification of what is this weird insect that I found and this weird shell that's moving across the beach. It's helped me learn a lot about hermit crabs. That was a fascinating topic for me while I was away. So yeah, ChatGPT is an obvious one. The second one, Candy Crush Solitaire, is something that I've really been getting into. So I spend a disproportionate amount of time on that.
Having fun, it's good, you know.
I don't know. I consider it having fun. It's more of a sort of a developing addiction, I think.
Yeah, we all have some of those apps, but maybe like for me now, like the apps. So ChatGPT is really like one of my favorite apps, and I spend time like talking to it, right, in the using the voice mode, so having a chat that way. And
have you been calling it, Dave?
Yes, every now and then. So now it's out. I first practice podcast there before I go have it with
nice,
it.
Good.
Yeah, maybe we should release that version as well. Well, in any case, so it's
being replaced gradually. There we go.
We are all being like, you know, we talked about that previously. So if ChatGPT 5 is giving you like the option to talk to an adult, so what will be ChatGPT 6 then?
Yeah, yes.
It's
a replacement for all of us.
For all of us. But hopefully that will remain the development for
I'll be able to spend more time learning about hermit crabs.
Or like the Candy Crush
yes.
app that we have. So you're right. And the other app is Google Maps. So we travel a lot, and that helps me, you know, get everywhere I want.
Yeah, I think it's one of those things that I think I probably really take for granted these days, as to just how reliant I am on Google Maps, Apple Maps. It's one of those. I think they're both kind of apps that, when you drive a lot, the kind of infuriating experiences you have on lanes not being clear or signage not being clear. But you know, still, I wouldn't be able to do without it these days.
Yeah, it has not always been like that.
No,
like with apps. And
no. I remember pulling up next to people on the street when I was learning to drive and asking them for directions.
Nowadays would be a weird situation.
Right, before we deteriorate into full-on reminiscing about the good old days, let's wrap it up there.
Let's do that, David. It was great talking to you, as always, and I'm looking forward for what season 2 will bring.
Indeed. Speak to you later.
Cheers.